Yeah, so I wanted to talk a bit more about managing mobile equipment fires. In the past, we have shared sort of awareness information, data from the department, data from work that we've done, and really designed those documents to share with people around just raising the awareness of this issue. You know, we've got a lot of mobile machines that continually have fires and things like that, and some of the reasons for that. I wanted to do a bit more this time. I wanted to produce something that's a bit more practical that people can take away and use. So we've produced this blue paper, we call it, which is effectively just a summary of some of our learnings and things that we've done with clients over the years. And again, we're not talking about fire suppression. Fire suppression there's been a lot of investment, there's been a lot of work done by mining companies and the fire suppression companies. It's been good work, and it's, you know, they're the people to go to for fire suppression solutions. This is about fire prevention, so preventing the fire from starting in the first place, or as they talk about in AS 5062 and MDG 1032, it's really about fire risk reduction. That's what we're talking about. So the document itself sort of starts with a self-assessment where you can just have a look at what you've done so far. You know, have you completed your risk assessments? Do your risk assessments identify fire risk reduction activities, etc.? Right the way down to, have you got some methods in place to manage the culture of quality execution? And you get a rating of 1 to 100 of where you sit currently. The document talks about, you know, straight out of the Australian standard around the risk assessment process and the things you would typically have in those risk assessments. We've got examples of what you would have in there. So yeah, we've got examples of the you know, the risks that you should assess in those risk assessments, but also importantly the safeguards or the controls to put in place to manage those risks, and not forgetting the controls, the administration controls. All machines have failure modes, and we have to have administrative controls, maintenance checks, etc., cleaning, to control those failure modes. We can't design them all out, unfortunately. There is also a bit of a sample of the standard risk assessment document that we've got. We've got examples of equipment specifications, because that's a big part of it. You know, you've got to specify the machine to have on it the additions that will prevent the onset of fire or reduce the risk of fire. And the PM checklists associated with making sure that those additions to the equipment or that equipment specification is maintained as designed. And then lastly, in this document, we go through some areas and some ideas and things that we've done to help people to actually get the quality execution standards to be improved, or the culture around execution of PM checklists and things like that. You know, one of the things that always pops out if you look at fires that have occurred is around hydraulic hose bursts or fuel lines bursting. You know, those sort of things need to be maintained and inspected properly with good clamping and all those sort of things. And that comes down to a culture around execution. So it's a really big part of preventing fires in the first place. Yeah, so I encourage you to download the document. It's online there. I really hope that you'll get some good takeaways that you can deploy at your site, which will help you to eliminate or at least significantly reduce the instances of fires. And as we've learned, prevention is much better than suppression.